Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellas wherever you get your podcasts.
Let's be completely honest. Are you happy with your job? The fact is, a huge number of people can't say yes to that. Too many of us are stuck in a job we've outgrown or one we never really wanted in the first place. But we stick it out and we give reasons like, what if the next move is worse? And I've put years into this place. And maybe the most common one, isn't everyone miserable at work? But there's a difference between reasons for staying and excuses for not leaving. It's time to get unstuck. It's time for Strawberry.me. They match you with a certified career coach who helps you get from where you are to where you want to be, either at your existing job or by helping you find a new one. Your coach helps clarify your goals, creates a plan, and keeps you accountable along the way. Go to strawberry.me/career and get 50% off your first coaching session. That's strawberry.me/career.
Hello and welcome to the Psych Legal Pop Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about popular culture through the lens of an attorney and a therapist. I'm the therapist, Tess Brigham.
And I'm Brooke Brigham. I'm the attorney.
And we are continuing our Sister Wives Rewind. This is Season 6, Episode 2, The 4 Lives of Kody Brown. Now, if this seems familiar, they did do an episode, I cannot remember how long ago, called The 4 Wives of Kody Brown, where they did something very similar, where we get to see, one day here with this wife, one day here with this wife, and that becomes the whole episode. And I have to say, I like these episodes. I like to see the contrast and what's happening and what's going on. And if you are new to our podcast, we originally started this rewind. The first episode is February 13th, 2023, where we start recapping Sister Wives and going back to the beginning. So if you huge fan of Sister Wives and want to hear it, please go back and listen to those episodes. We covered one episode a week or maybe two in one show until about, I want to say September of last year when we just broke down.
No, it was August.
Was it August
because the season 18 started, so we didn't want to do 2 a week.
Yeah, and it was double Kody was poof.
Yeah,
Now I understand why these wives need 3 days in between.
Although he's much nicer in these beginning seasons.
Yes.
He's still in his nice face. He's annoying, but relatively nice.
Or is he lying? So anyway, we open up where we hear from the women saying that they all lead really independent lives, that they feel more like single moms more than anything. And so everyone is desperate to be together, except for Mary.
Yeah.
It was kind of interesting. Everyone's like, we can't wait to be together. We can't wait to be together. Mary's very nervous because, you know what? Mary enjoys her privacy.
Yeah.
And she thinks it's going to be a big challenge. And I think that we were talking about this in the last episode, this idea of when did the problems with Mary and Kody start? When did Kody, what happened with him and Mary? And we talked a bit about, is it because she only was able to have one child? Was she wasn't willing to be, take Robyn up as a surrogate. She wasn't, she didn't want to do any of those things. And I think this is another part of that case where I think what's interesting is even though plural marriage and all of that was a part of Mary's upbringing, she obviously is not suited for this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because
like,
we also talked about how she didn't really participate in raising the other kids.
Yes.
I mean, she participated in the family and in the family events and all that, but it was Christine who took on that mantle.
Yeah.
Took care of everybody's kids, you know, not Mary. Mary was working, doing her own thing. And yeah, and she said she thinks it's going to be hard to see when they're in the cul-de-sac and she sees what Kody and the other wives are doing. Might be hard to see. And it turns out, yeah. Because everyone could see Kody was always at Robyn's house.
Yeah.
You know, he was always there all the time. So maybe she already kind of knows that that's what she's going to be seeing, because I think people already know he spends all of his time at her house, because Christine and Robyn, their rental houses are on the same street.
Yeah.
You know, before they moved to the cul-de-sac. And so they already know.
Yeah.
It's already started. So she doesn't want to see that.
Yeah. Well, and also I think, you know, I think she probably felt a lot of jealousy even in Lehigh with Janelle and Christine, because she is the first wife.
Yeah.
I mean, this was a new thing for her when Janelle came in. Even though she had been raised in it, you know, experiencing something on your own for the first time is very different. And, you know, I think, again, that shows you that maybe this wasn't right. None of this was right for her. None of this was what she should be doing. And that's the part that I think is so frustrating, is you got to give people options. You can't just tell them there's only one way to be.
Yeah. Well, she was just following what she thought.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, yeah, she lived that life her whole life. That's all she knew. She was just following what she thought she was supposed to do. And it turns out, yeah, she really didn't like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
day one is Janelle, right? Or we see Janelle get up at 5:30 to go work out. So she's got this new trainer, Sean Huddleston. She's lost 25 pounds in 90 days, but she's super frustrated because she isn't losing any weight. And she's feeling really frustrated. She again tells us that she can't see how she fits into Sister Wives' closet. She wants to put the plug in there. Like, she cannot stand this. And and so we hear from, is it Christine, telling us that the expo didn't go well, and that we see a family meeting. Is this?
Yeah,
I'm kind of blazing through things here.
Well, yeah. So this thing with Janelle at the gym, we come back to the gym later. There's sort of like introducing that. But yeah, so then they go into another Sister Wives Closet business meeting.
Yes.
Which is always
good times.
So happy. And yeah, so basically they Robyn crunched the numbers, and they only made $500 in profit from the St. George Expo.
And was this where Kody kept asking her, like, well, did you take the cost of goods out of that?
Yeah, and it's like, yes, this is
Kody, I understand how that works.
Yeah, net this is what profit. God, Kody. Yeah, and I have in my notes here, Janelle says, I don't want to design jewelry. She just says that straight out to the whole table. And Robyn's like, but I've been begging you to do the plus size clothing because it's she says niche, but it's niche. And Janelle's like, it's a hobby business.
This isn't working.
Yeah. This is when Kody says he feels awkward selling jewelry because it looks like he's trolling for a new wife.
Yes, because his only sales strategy is to flirt. That's your one sales strategy?
Yeah. Well, then that's your problem, Kody. That you need to work on that.
And this is what I love, because wasn't he in sales when we first met him?
Allegedly, he sold us that Fiesta Cantina sign that, you know.
So salespeople, I love salespeople. Salespeople who are like, oh, I can sell ice to an Eskimo. I can do this. I can do that. And it's like, okay, Kody, you're such an amazing salesperson. Like, you could be able to sell jewelry.
Right.
And I don't know, not be so flirtatious that someone's going to be offended. But that someone might misinterpret his interest.
Kody, no one is thinking
get
about
over
you
yourself
that much. Yes. God. So self-centered.
Yeah, that it's all about him.
All about
But
him.
Robyn is getting pissed because she is tired of begging people to get involved. And I will say this is another thing is I understand that this was her whole thing about, right, proving her worth, having something. But again, it's one of those things where, and I don't know if you have friends like this, where you're kind of like, you know what? Sometimes you have to just do something yourself. Like not everyone has to get involved in your, you've started, you want to do this charity or you want to do this. It's like, yeah, you committed to that. So you do it. Like Robyn, no one's stopping you from doing this. Like, why do you, it's actually better if you had less voices.
Right. You could get things done quicker. I mean, these people, they're just holding you back. And Mary offered to do it with her. Just do it with Mary.
Yeah. And you say Mary's the best pusher, so great.
Yeah.
She knows how to design the area.
She's good at moving stuff around, and packing up the car.
Yeah. So do it with her. Go on the road with her. I just, it's very odd where and it's funny because it seems like Robyn really needs Janelle's approval more than anything, more than Christine's.
As a breadwinner. Because, when she came into the family, Janelle was saying the same kind of things about how, now we've got 4 more mouths to feed and we're barely making it and the finite resources. And, I think Robyn really felt all that.
Yeah.
And she has to prove herself to Janelle that she can earn money too.
So it was a very tense meeting.
It was a very tense meeting.
So then we see Christine's going over to Janelle's house because they need to talk about real estate because they've got a big meeting tomorrow with Mona Reiki. Big meeting. So the two of them I didn't quite understand what the two of them were doing. Like by this point, they've both passed the exam. So I didn't know what the point of this meeting was, where they started to go over some things together. And I was like, so what's your meeting about Mona about?
I read that they were going to discuss real estate and review real estate law.
Ah, okay.
So maybe Mona was probably going to be training them on some of the logistics of actually selling real estate. So you learned about this stuff
in school,
but here's what you're really going to be doing. And this is how it works. And this is what you need to know, kind of thing.
Or maybe a deal that Mona's working on. And she's like, okay, I'm going to take you through
can
every
shadow
step.
This.
Yeah. So I'll show you how to get it done. But then a fight breaks out.
Oh, yeah. Janelle's kids, and Peyton is there, and it's Gabe and Garrison. And they're all just picking on each other, fighting.
Yes. Well, so apparently Garrison unplugged Gabe's game, and that really upset Gabe. And then I think that Garrison got mad that Gabe told, so he kicked Gabe.
Yeah.
And that created more. And what I love about all this, did you notice Kody was doing nothing?
No.
Kody was
just
sitting in a
there.
chair downstairs. Like all of a sudden hell breaks out. Kids are screaming. And he does absolutely nothing until Janelle goes, Kody,
can you help me?
Can you help me, please? The one night you're goddamn here ever. And this is happening. So go do something about it.
He's just sitting in his chair on his laptop, kind of laughing.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is what Janelle has to put up with every day, parenting these teenage boys.
Yes. Yes. And so finally, Kody comes upstairs and his big solution is to take Christine's kids home. Right?
Yeah.
Like, why don't I just take Peyton, and I think another one of Christine's kids was there, maybe Isabel or something.
Yeah.
And maybe I should just take them home.
Well, and he has all these empty platitudes that, he says, check your behavior, go to your room. Choices have consequences. Your actions have consequences. And it's like, what? How is this helpful?
Yeah. To I don't know how old Gabe and Garrison are at this point.
Pretty young, like 8 and 10 or.
Yeah. He looks like he's maybe middle school, like maybe 11, 12.
Oh, if that. Yeah.
I mean, what? And then I love this. This was my favorite when Gabe goes, he screams out, Garrison used the F word. He didn't say F word. He used the real word. And this is when I think Janelle's just like, God damn it, I'm just trying to do this work. And then she goes into this whole thing about how she's really struggling with teenage boys, the hormones, the testosterone, all of those kinds of things.
And Kody says that he doesn't want them for the next 3 days to remember him as the bad guy. So that's why he's not disciplining them.
Yeah.
And he says, I'm still figuring it out. It's like, what? You've been parenting for 18 years.
Yeah.
What do you mean you have older boys? What do you mean you're figuring it out? And then he says he feels like he has no credibility with his children because he's not home all the time. He's just a visitor. And it's like, well, that's a very good point. Yeah. Who's going to listen to you when you're here 1 day, 2 days a week tops?
Yeah. So how do you make your presence more known, Kody? I mean, again, you don't work at all, barely. So you really could technically go to every wife's house every day for a period of time, or take time out, or say to yourself, I really probably should have some alone time with Gabe or Garrison, or give them what they're looking for. But the best is Garrison's like, I'm not going to school tomorrow.
Okay.
Oh my God. And so Cody's big thing is he asks Garrison to apologize to Mom, to me, and to Gabe. I'm like, why are you in this mess?
Right. Why? I mean,
yes, you have to apologize to Gabe because you did rip off his, listen, you did stop his game in the middle, and I know that's a big deal with the video game. And you tried to, and you kicked him, and you did some other things too. And like Janelle, you yelled at Janelle, but why are your feelings hurt, Kody?
Why do you deserve an apology?
So Garrison and Gabe, they finally make up, and And that's the other thing too, is these fights. I don't even have 2 kids, but I could imagine if I had 2 boys that this stuff goes on constantly.
Yeah, it does.
That it's this ongoing thing. So why does it have to be these platitudes of what you're talking about or these big things? It's more of like, okay, let's figure out what's going on here, separate, apologize, move on.
Yeah. No, Cody's parenting is subpar.
Yeah. And then we see poor Janelle sitting on that couch. She says she feels really isolated from the rest of the family, just sort of on her own island by herself. And I can imagine that's hard.
Yep.
All right. So the next day is Christine's day. And, Cody's not going over there until very late.
Not till like 6 p.m.
or
at
later.
The earliest.
So we see Christine and Janelle, they're going to Mona's office. And so Mona put together these big binders, and she asked, I think Christine, I don't know what Janelle said. She asked Christine, it's like, have you read the book? No. God. It's like, Christine, I love Christine, but come on, this woman, yes. And I would really love to know, I wish we could get a hold of Mona Reiki. I would really love to know if being on the show helped her business, hurt her business, like how much of this was she getting paid or not getting paid? Because I'm sure you've had time, everybody, we've all had those moments where you're like, then why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Why am I doing this with you?
Yeah.
Why am I bothered? Because you have these are 2 people with no real estate experience at all. Like Mona could probably find some young whippersnapper who, could come on in and do a great job. It's like,
yeah, I doubt she was getting paid to be on the show. It was probably just like, oh, well, we'll feature your business. But I mean, okay, that's only helpful if you live in Las Vegas.
Yes. And so I think Mona said, these people are lost. Let me help them a little bit. I really do think Mona was coming at it from a kind place.
Well, she made a commission on the houses.
Yes.
And probably made a commission when she found those rentals, but not enough to like have to hold these people's hands and reprimand them and do all this shit for like 2 years.
Yes. So then Mona has a real hard talk with Christine, especially, where she says, listen, this is a hard business. This is an exhausting business. And I think real estate of anything, must be so hard to like take, it's such a crapshoot. You take some people around for months and months and months and months and months, and they do nothing. And then someone else buys right away. I mean, it's such a hard business. And she's trying to explain to Christine, like, I have not had a day off in 6 weeks. Now, I don't know if that means because since I started my own business, I have not had a day off at all. Like barely. I do think maybe she was trying to be realistic, but at the same time, like, you know, when you work for yourself and you do this, like every day there's something to be done.
It's not like you're working
it's not 8
all
hours
day, every day. Yeah. But you're doing something. Something comes up. There's a deadline. We've got to get this. Things got to close. We've got to do this.
Got to show that. I mean, I know with the woman that helped us buy our house, like we were looking at another house one time and God damn it, she showed up at our house. She was at our house that night wanting to talk about it, like, because she saw a sale and she had to, you know, and I was like, so I think Mona was trying to be a little realistic with Christine. And then this is when Christine lost her mind.
Yeah.
This was just all too much with her. She's like, I can't give up 6 weekends. Kids aren't used to me being gone. I can't do this. 6 weekends, 6 weeks, 6 weekends. It's like she could not hear anything else. And she says that I couldn't hear anything else.
And then she also tells them that there's going to be, well, first she says, you know, don't go. You tell the others and, you know, don't be going to the site and talking to anybody and adding things on and whatever.
Or even talking to the builder slows them down.
They have to stop what they're doing. And so there's going to be, she says there's going to be a delay for Christine and Janelle to get into their homes because of delays in the building, but their loans are approved.
Yes.
Okay. But then on the flip side, and this is such an injustice, Robyn and Mary's houses are ready, but their loans aren't approved.
Yes.
So it could be that nobody gets it by Christmas.
And Christine is beside herself at this point. She has lost her goddamn mind.
Yes. So then she's back at home and Kody.
Oh, no. But hold on. But this was a great moment where we see Christine and Janelle walking outside, and Janelle's like, well, at least someone will be in there by Christmas. That means nothing. Christine goes, that means nothing. Like we see Christine in a new, like, whoa, she's lost her mind.
This is not a good day.
So pissed.
Not a good day.
So sorry. Go back to that. But I just, that means nothing. Nothing.
No, I felt her. I felt that. Okay, so then later that evening,
Kody finally shows up.
Kody finally shows up. They're lying on Christine's bed, and you know, Truly's there, and Christine is telling him about how, you know, what Mona told her, and she says she cannot work weekends and evenings, and Kody's like, well, yeah, I guess not. Okay, well then don't do it. He just seems like he doesn't care.
Yeah, well, it's also interesting because he was doing what a lot of men do, which is he started problem solving. And it's like, slow down, Kody. Just let her vent. Let her vent. She wants to vent. She wants to talk these things through. Yeah. All of that. And then he says something very interesting. He says, yeah, well, you don't have a situation where another mother will take the children. And I'm thinking to myself, where the fuck is Robyn?
What is this sister wives thing for?
I'm like, yes.
Why are we doing this if not to help each other?
Because having someone else that is like a second mother to your child to take your children is the most valuable thing. It's more valuable than all the money in the world.
Right. Because
your child is safe.
You can't pay enough. Yes. There's no amount you could pay for that. And he just solidified the fact that he never expected Robyn to have to take care of anybody else's kids. Or Robyn told him, I'm not taking care of anyone else's kids. But he clearly knows that is not an option.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a minute.
And you don't have a situation, but it's not even Mary. My first thing was Robyn. Why can't Robyn take these kids? Then I'm thinking, well, why wouldn't Mary?
Right. Somebody.
Leon is leaving soon to go off to college, as we see in another episode later on. So it's like, what?
There's nobody?
Isn't this perfect? Couldn't Mary take your kids?
Yeah.
And so I think we're already seeing very clearly that, number one, they've been lying to us. Lies. But that the one piece of all of this that's really beneficial for women isn't even true or real, except for Janelle and Christine.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
I know. It's all been a lie.
Yes.
And then Kody, like you said, instead of just hearing her out or problem solving or whatever, he's like, okay, well, don't do it. And then if she wants to continue talking.
Yeah.
And he says, you're creating drama that doesn't exist. And he gets up to like leave. And I hate it when men do that, when they get up and leave because they don't want to like hear it anymore. And she's like, well, I'm just telling you how I feel.
Yeah.
And Kody's like, well, if you feel like you have to work, go ahead. I mean, he's just being such a dick.
Yeah.
So rude.
Well, and all you've been talking about is how we need to make, everybody's talking about, we've got these houses,
money.
We need money. Everyone needs to be working. Everyone needs to be doing this and that. And I don't understand. Why couldn't he have told her, which is what I would have told her, which is like, listen, you haven't even started real estate yet.
Yeah.
Like, give it some time.
Yeah.
You may really love it. And the nights and weekends aren't a big deal. Or maybe that's the only time you're working. Or maybe that's this. Or maybe you take on less. Like, that's the thing about real estate, that why people go into it and why a lot of women go into it is you are working all the time, but there's a certain amount of flexibility because you do get to decide.
You could leave and pick up your kids from school. You don't you just don't make appointments to show houses or whatever.
Why can't you and Janelle be a team?
Right.
Why can't the two of you sell houses together and be a team together?
She heard that night and weekend thing and she just shut down.
Because you know what? Because she doesn't have a partner.
Yeah,
she's Janelle's the closest thing, but she really does not have a partner because she feels like a single mom. And all of a sudden she's like, well, I'm not going to get any help from Kody, who also could be helping on nights and weekends too.
Right. And she asked him to help when she was pregnant and he was driving back and forth to see Robyn.
Yes.
And she was working at night and she was struggling. And she said, please don't go visit Robyn. I need your help. And he said no.
Yeah.
So she knows. And that was an extreme circumstance.
Yes. Yes.
So if he's not going to help her in that circumstance, well, he's certainly not going to help her here.
Yeah. So
he's just the worst.
He is. And it's interesting, too, because you would think of anything that he would support, it would be Sister Wives Closet, but yet he's so weird about that and so inconsistent. You would think that he would be more into it because it was Robyn's thing.
Yeah. Well, he was trying to fake I can't believe I just said a few minutes ago, this is the nice Kody. He's never been nice.
No.
He just wasn't as overtly abrasive as he is now.
Yes.
He was like, this is undercover.
Well, and also just to say drama, which is such a, women hysterical.
Right, hysterical.
Like, if your concerns and problems and worries are now drama.
Right. You're not allowed to have
feelings
or any of this. Everything has to be sweet.
Yes.
Keep sweet.
Keep sweet. Oy. Psych Legal Pop will be back after these messages.
Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellas wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay, now is that it for that was Christine's
That was Christine's day. And it leaves with her saying, yeah, I just want to be a mom. And it's like, okay, you want to be a mom. So, okay, even if this has taught you that you want to be a mom, then by the standards and rules of this plural life, then you should be able to be just a mom, and the rest of everybody else
will help you out.
I know.
But
that's it. That was Christine's night.
Christine's shitty day.
Yeah.
That was a really bad day for her.
Yes, very bad. So the next day is Robyn's day, which I'm sure Kody is all a tingle about. Like, ooh, I get to be with Robyn finally, my love.
Yes. And why is it that Robyn, on her day, she gets to go on a solo date with Kody?
Yes.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. So, but I love this. So Solomon's sleeping and he's a very, very light sleeper. So she's trying to get Aurora and all the other kids to be quiet. And I'm telling you, this is why I think Aurora is super annoying.
Oh, yeah. She was being annoying.
Being extra and extra annoying.
Playing the piano.
Oh, God, yeah.
Running around yelling.
I mean, Brianna was stopping her going, shh. Yeah. Your younger sister knows. Like, oh. Yeah, I know. It was very controversial when I said Aurora was my least favorite person. But I'm telling you, I have a lot of evidence to the contrary. She is annoying.
Know. Well, and she's saying... that it's super, since Solomon has been born, it's super rare for her and Kody to get to go on a date without him. And it's only happened 3 times this year without having to take Sol. And I'm thinking, well, what month is it?
Yeah.
3 times a year for a new mom on a solo, that seems kind of like a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think about when Max was born. But yeah, I mean, your in-laws come into town. And so you're like, great, we'll go out because someone's there to take care of the kid. And I don't know. I was very lucky because I lived next door to mom. So I always had someone around. But yeah, I don't think Steve and I went out that much ever. Yeah.
I wonder who's watching Saul and the other kids.
But also
probably her mother or something.
Yeah. But I also want to say that it's so this is a great example of you have nothing planned. Like, you knew this was shooting. So you have all this stuff planned with Robyn. You have nothing planned for Christine. You have nothing planned for the other wives. And money is so tight. Can you really be paying to go do this? Well, I bet you Puddle Monkey paid for it. But
well, yeah, because they went rappelling, which
I did not
like
get
a
that
strange date.
But before that, everyone has a meeting with Mona. And this was great. So, and we learned that Kody, Robyn, and Meri, they need to be working on their loan. So apparently Kody hasn't even filled out paperwork that he needs to fill out.
It's been months.
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing?
I know.
What are you doing?
How hard can this paperwork be? I think one of the things that's holding up Robyn's finances, she's trying to get all these creditors to settle with her because she said that.
Yeah.
So, but there's no excuse for not filling out the forms.
Yes.
Kody.
No, that's something that's within your control. So you can do that. But yeah, it's like, what? Meri is pretty organized. What's Meri doing? What is wrong with you all?
Well, she needs Cody's cooperation because they're still legally married.
Yes, I bet you that's
and so all their tax stuff is probably they file taxes together, all that kind of stuff.
So then Mona says, I love this. Who has been going out to the property without telling me? And everyone's quiet. And Kody and Robyn claim that they've been out twice. Just the two of them?
God, I bet they snuck into that house at night.
This is where our bedroom's going to be. Let's do it.
Yes, let's christen the bedroom right now.
That probably is what broke whatever was wrong with our house. Or maybe you think they had sex in the other houses, like, ha, 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 Meri.
Yes, let's go do it on Christine's living room floor.
The library.
Yes,
she's going to call. I'm going to suggest this is a library. So then we find out that she asks Meri, how many times have you been out there? So apparently she said, well, 10 times. And Mary's like, well, apparently Mary's dropped by at least 10 times. So her whole thing is, I'm working on a scrapbook.
She's like, I got to get pictures.
I've got to get pictures for the scrapbook. It's like, who is asking for the scrapbook? And
it's just her personal, scrapbook of the building of her home.
Yes. So I bet you anything she goes out there every single day. I think she has an idea every day. And I think she goes out there to take pictures for her scrapbook. And I bet you anything she's out there yammering.
Yeah. While she's there, she'll notice something. And then she'll have to, engage the builder.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So Mona's like, no more going out there without letting us know. So then we have Janelle. So Janelle goes over to Robyn's house, and she now says that she wants to get more involved in Sister Wives Closet because she wants to do the clothing business, because she was looking for plus size workout clothes and she couldn't find anything. Which I'm trying to think back to 2015, 2016. I can believe that. It's very different now. I mean, there's so much variety in workout clothes. I mean, especially post-pandemic where all we wear our workout clothes. Right. But so now she's inspired. So now she's back.
Flip-flopped again.
But so she also says that she doesn't think Kody should be involved because this needs to be a woman-empowered business.
He's uncomfortable being part of this women's, what he perceives as like a women's only business.
And I think Janelle was probably just thinking like, let's just get rid of him already. Like we don't need him. No. He's exhausting. So suddenly, I mean, I don't know what the days are from, what's happening, like how quickly she's flip-flopping. But I think that if it was Janelle's day 2 days ago, like this is 2 days later, she's coming back.
I know.
So I like Janelle, I do, but this is, you can't do this to people. Like, because it sounds like, I hate this business. I don't want to do this. And then she's like, oh God, I can't find any clothes that fit me. Oh, I want to do a clothing business. And I mean,
Janelle's a little lost.
Yes.
And then she also, I love this, she tells Robyn just to only invite Christine to the fun things because she hates meetings. And I'm like, good. Like Janelle, she that was good. She came in and she said, okay, this is how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
Because it could work if we do it this way. And so that was good.
Yeah. Which is fine. It's a little bit like if Christine doesn't really want to do this stuff, then if she wants to be a mom, then great. Let her be the mom. Like someone has to be.
Right.
And
all of that. She would even watch Robyn's kids if Robyn would let her, but she won't let her.
Yeah. So Kody and Robyn, they're going to Red Rock Canyon. She says she's really missed Kody this first year with Solomon, because they just haven't been together.
What does that mean? He comes over all the time.
I know. Well, I think it's like she's used to
they're doing stuff, going out. And
just the two of them, but now with Solomon. I mean, I think basically because her youngest of her three kids is about 9 or 10. I think it's more of like, oh crap, having a baby's a lot.
Well, I think she was breastfeeding, and so you have to take the baby with you everywhere you go.
And I think she just hadn't had that in a long time. So, but they decide to rappel down a rock, and I wrote down, is this fun?
No,
this does not look like fun.
Doesn't look like fun. Of course, Kody has to tell the guide that he's a polygamist.
Of course.
And these two are so lovey-dovey. Just kissing and all over.
Yeah. Well, so, I guess Robyn was questioning what life would look like when they're all in the houses. And then I thought this was interesting. They're at the top of the rock together, which I thought was so weird. It's like you go up to one rock, you hike it, and then you rappel down.
Yeah.
I'm like, how is that fun? Like, I can understand rock climbing because you're climbing up and there's to get to the top, but you're just doing the lazy part where you're rappelling down. And these don't even seem like huge rocks where you have to navigate craggy.
No, you're not propelling very far, but rappelling.
So they're sitting on this rock together, and Kody asks Robyn, do you want to kiss? He cannot wait to make out with Robyn.
No,
which
he can't.
As we've learned from Christine and her wedding specials, Kody never wanted to make out with her, kiss her, never. But he cannot wait to kiss Robyn.
Can't wait.
Yes. So the final day is a day with Mary, which starts at 4:20 a.m. So, Leon likes to go out and exercise. And they also go to the seminary class at 6 a.m. Oy vey.
Yeah.
So in order to do that, they have to get up at 4:20 to run. And I guess she doesn't want, which I don't blame her. She doesn't want Leon running in the, dark cold of Las Vegas. Though if she just stays in the neighborhood, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get it, but it's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, Leon is 17 or
almost 18 now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Would you let your daughter run in your neighborhood?
Well, we live in a very different, this is Oakland. The only thing I worry about when she's running is I feel like someone's going to jack her for her $500, you know, Apple headphones.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, do you have to run with those headphones? And she's like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, you know, that's, you know, it's like we're having like taping $500 to your back.
Yes.
You know,
that you could very easily just rip off
someone can
and
just
go.
come snatch them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of a paranoid mom, so I understand, Mary.
So we learn that at this point, Leon still really wants plural marriage, believes in it. Then there's this fight because they have to drive Robyn's old van to school, which I guess isn't very cool. And there's no air conditioning, which I can imagine in Las Vegas is hellish.
Well, and Leon was very upset about this. I mean, pretty bitchy, quite frankly. But.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just kind of feel like they're a teenager. I give them a wide berth, but it is interesting. You know, this whole thing where they go, Mary says, you know, Leon and I, neither of us are really good about changing last minute plans. Like there's obviously a very controlling nature in both of them. And then Leon makes some comment about like, yeah, well, plans change a lot. You know, I do wonder if some of this is, I was kind of like, I wonder if Leon's got a point here. If Mary does promise her things or things are promised a lot.
Right.
And it's, I mean, we haven't even gotten to Christmas in the homes, but, you know, that maybe Mary does this a lot, like rips the rug out from under them. So everyone's heading out to the houses with Mona. This is what we do on Mary's day off.
God, how many times have we been there this week?
We've been there 4 times or something. The 4 lives of Kody Brown each day.
Every day.
Involves going out to these goddamn houses. And then we see this interview. Oh, God. This one with Janelle. Did you notice Janelle's eye makeup? In this one, there is one where she's wearing this really bright purple top and she decides to wear bright purple and magenta eye shadow. And I was like, woof, boy. It was a little scary. So we learn that, yes, Leon wants to be in the houses by the holidays. Again, we learn that Mary is worried about the privacy again, as we talked about before. And then we go to this whole thing about how Leon and Mary go shopping at one of those like crafty stores where there's a lot of word art.
Yes.
And I think, was this the dawn of word art? When did this word art phenomenon start?
This is probably the height of word art. Around
because word art is kind of dropped.
I hope so.
Yeah. Well, I think in some parts of the country.
Yeah. No, there was
word
so much word art in this store, but it was, and they had all this Christmas stuff.
Yes.
And they're buying Christmas decorations. But I thought it was 2 months before Christmas.
Yes. No, because Kody, when he goes over to the house, they're already unpacking.
Yeah, they've got the tree up.
And he's like, it's not even Thanksgiving yet. Like, what are you doing? But I guess these two really love Christmas. But I also think what's interesting about this is all back to this whole idea of like everyone has the same budgets. And like now Mary, because she doesn't have to buy food for 4 boys, she's out spending all this money on Christmas crap.
She has a lot of disposable income because, she has a lot of stuff.
She does have a lot of stuff. And I think this is really interesting because here we're talking about finite resources, everyone's struggling. How are we getting in these houses? And if this whole thing is about sharing, then why aren't you saying, I have extra money every month and I'm just going to spend it on this?
Just give them for food.
Why
food
can't
budget?
Yeah. Why don't you just give the food budget over or put it in a savings account or
like a rainy day fund? Well, and I think this is also another source of Kody's frustration with her, is that she clearly has always insisted that it be equal. And she feels very justified in it because she would have had more kids if she could have. So she shouldn't be punished for it. And he's gone along with that.
Yes.
And I think he regrets going along with that. But it's too late to go back. And so he's pissed at her about that.
Yeah.
And in fact, the final scene here is they're sitting on the couch, Mary and Kody, and they're talking. Mary says, we were already struggling in our relationship before we moved.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all the way back in Lehigh. And she says, but we're on the uphill. We're more engaged with each other, working on the relationship. And then Kody says, there is a utopia there, and I'm looking forward to it. Whatever.
Yeah, I didn't understand what that meant either.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. When did your problems start?
Yes. Well, because was it the first I can't remember. It's definitely the first season where the two of them go to Lakai,
Oh, yeah.
that fancy Utah restaurant. And they do, in that scene at their 20th anniversary, they're talking about
Past struggles
and what's been going on. So, this is 5 years later. That's a long time. I don't know. I mean, I've been married a long time. My husband and I have had ups and downs, but it's never lasted 5 years. I mean, that would be like, what? Like, huh? I don't know. But yeah, I'm with you on this whole thing about Kody and Kody's resentments towards Mary. And quite frankly, and I think this is one of the things that he likes about Janelle, because Janelle's very simple and Janelle's not, spending tons of money and doing what Mary's doing. But also, so I do think he likes that. But again, what's so interesting about this is something that he went along with, and then he gets mad at the women. He gets mad at you, as opposed to ever sitting down with her and saying, "Mary, we got to redo this.
Right?
We got to.
I
said yes to this, and I said, and I personally, I'm sure people out there have their own opinions. My opinion is that it's not fair. Like, I'm sorry that you wanted to have more children and you couldn't, but again, if you were on food stamps, if you were on anything, remember we used to get that subsidy? I don't know what happened to that. Everyone got like $100 for each kid they had, 4 or 5 years ago. I can't remember. Like, yes, that's how it works. People are going to base it on the number of dependents that you have.
Right.
And it's really not fair. It's not fair at all.
It's not fair. It's stupid. And I don't know why he ever agreed to it in the first place. But yeah, he should have had the balls to say, you know what? Well, I can't do this anymore. These other people are struggling to feed their kids, for God's sakes.
Yes.
And that's why I think the resentments come from all around, Janelle, Christine.
Yeah, it's funny because I always laugh at our own parents who work really hard to make everything feel fair between the two of us. And I'm like, I've never been feeling like, oh, Brooke got so much more than I did, or I've never felt any resentment. I always thought, like, why are the two of you working so hard? Like, we don't care. Like, you raised us. Because the other thing is, when we would fight, the big line was, it's going to be just the two of you one day making decisions about us. You have to be friends. It's just, you have to be friends. Even though our own father struggles with his relationships with his siblings, even he was just like, you need to be friends. This is your sister. Stay loyal, all this kind of stuff. But I look back now and I go, oh, I guess, yes. Thank you. That was the smart. You did pay attention and you did care. So now we are adults and I don't know how you feel, but I don't feel resentful. I don't feel like you've gotten more or whatever. I think there's been certain times where maybe more was coming to me or more was coming to you, but I didn't feel like, oh, I'm so bitter and angry about it.
But people need different things at different times.
Yes, and that's how it worked out.
Yeah. And that's, if you have, as long as you get your needs met when you get your needs met, who cares? Like if someone else needs something. Yeah. And that's just one sign of, dysfunction. It comes out in stuff like money and
time and energy.
Time, money. And that creates
love this
resentments
person.
And no, but I do. I think it is important as a parent to make your kids or to be as equal as you can with your kids. And I think that creates a lot of resentment. That's why the older kids, they don't like Mary because they see their mothers struggling and, to put food on the table and whatever. And they know, they know all this business. They know Mary's getting that. It does, because it gets people. And I see this doing probate cases, where there's, contested
You and Dad had all these
litigation.
crazy cases
Yeah.
where adult kids were still fighting with each
Still
other.
pissed off about unequal treatment. Like, and oh God, when parents leave unequal amounts to their kids in their will, even though the parent, it's kind of rare. Parents really do try to be fair. But then if they try to be fair, there's always kids who feel like, well, why does this person, get this and I need it? And, or if it's not equal, then they're upset that it's not equal. They're never happy, you know, and it all stems back to their childhood and how they perceive each sibling was treated, and if they're the favorite, and then there's the one who took care of the parent.
Yeah, that's always a big one.
They always feel like they deserve more,
and a lot of the cases were around that, right? The person who took care of mom and dad, would. I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of all these cases, but the person who took care of mom and dad, they have a lot of influence, right? Because they're around a lot, and so there's a lot of shady things that happen.
Sometimes,
or if they have taken care of, and then there's some deadbeat brother, and it's like they deserve a fifth or a fourth, and I did all this, and that's the thing is that's that whole thing with parents and taking care and money, and it's like. Be a good parent, but you cannot guarantee if your kid's going to take care of you or not. So you have to kind of you chose to be a parent. It's not a requirement that children take care of their parents when they get older. But, if you love and invest in your children, they're going to want to. And then, from there, it's a little bit of, as a kid, you cannot live your life based on whether or not you're going to inherit money. Yeah. Which
a lot of people do. They get to a point where they're just sitting around waiting for their parents to die. Because they count on that money.
Yeah. Because they need it so badly.
And they're getting older. And that's the thing. People are living for so long. I would see a lot of cases where, these parents are living into their 90s and their adult children are like 65 and they need the money so they can retire.
Yeah. Yes.
And
yes.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Though mom's house is part of my retirement plan.
Oh, me too. Don't get me wrong, but
we want that. We want that house in Berkeley.
Yeah, no, that does definitely.
We need that house, but it is part of it. But it's not. Okay, then if that means. If mom eventually gets sick and has to sell her house, I mean, it's sort of like, okay, then I guess I have to, figure something else out, or I guess I'm not going to be retiring anytime soon, or whatever it is, right? But
you can't count on it.
Yeah, you can't, and you shouldn't, and you just don't know what's going to happen with your parents. So, but it is really fascinating. But anyway, what an episode. 4 lives of Kody Brown. And except for his night with Robyn, not much happened.
Not much happening.
Yeah. He's just like fantasizing about kissing Robyn on that rock. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. If you like this podcast, please give us a 5-star rating. It really does help us. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. We've got how many episodes now? 140 plus episodes. I can't remember how many we've done now.
Yeah. Well,
we have this full rewind that we've done up until now. We've got lots of documentaries, so lots of good stuff. And what else? So if you do enjoy this episode or any of our episodes, please tell a friend, spread the word of Psych Legal Pop. We're on social media at Psych Legal Pop at TikTok and Instagram. And you can always email us at psychlegalpoppodcast@gmail.com. We do read those emails and with suggestions and all that good stuff. Anything else?
No.
Okay.
That I can think of.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellows wherever you get your podcasts.
Give me a mountain with lots to do. Give me the sunshine, give me a dew. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and a cool, refreshing mountain dew. So give me my good friends, give me a dew.
Grab some friends and an ice-cold Mountain Dew today.
Mountain Dew.